The Metro East Sports Podcast is proudly presented by Little Caesars Pizza, locally owned by lifelong 618 residents who are proud to serve our community. Home of the hot and ready pizza and 12-time world champions of value, Little Caesars Pizza makes game night, practice night, and family night easy. Check them out in Alton, Glen Carbon, Troy, Collinsville, Shiloh, or Granite City today.
Get ready for the award-winning #1 sports podcast on our side of the river. It's time for the Metro East Sports Podcast.
From the Front Office Wealth Strategies studio in beautiful, warm, sunny summer Edwardsville, welcome to the Metro East Sports Podcast, talking all things sports in the Metro East. Season number 7, show number 18, recorded Monday, June 1st, 2026. I am David Leip alongside Jack Grimm. Good to see you, Jack.
Thank you for having me.
Our volleyball expert after your very first day of practice in the new position at Civic Memorial High School.
That's right.
Congratulations,
All right.
Coach.
Thanks
you very
for
much.
coming in here today to talk volleyball with us. And KP, good to see you, Coach Paulo.
Good to see you, Coach.
You're looking nice and tan because you've been out watching a lot of baseball and soccer playoffs so far.
Absolutely. It's been fun.
And fresh from the boys track state meet, Mike Baxter. Good to see you, Mike.
Hi, Coach.
How many meets has it been so far for you this season?
Just finished 20.
20 track meets. Wow. You got to figure it's only about a 14-week season. Or actually, does that count? When did you start counting? In January?
I started the last 2 in indoor, and then
You got indoor, don't you, in there?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, can't wait to hear about all things boys track. And tonight's show is all about speed, because we are going to talk about a little bit about baseball. We're going to talk about some of the results, preview some of the games, and then we are going to do the same with softball and soccer. Track and field, Mike's going to give us the lowdown on all the things happening, and then we are going to talk to Jack, and he's going to talk about where we are right now with volleyball heading into the final week of the season. O'Fallon is the only team left. We're going to talk about the playoffs, and then we are going to be joined by Coach Adam Nelson from Triad Girls Track and Field, the Mespy winners for 2A Girls Track Team of the Year. All they did was win state, and he is bringing with him Harvard-bound Sophia Chardon. Or do you say Chardon?
Chardon.
You say Chardon. I say Chardon. We'll see what she says when she gets here.
Right.
And segment number 3, more speed, more excellence, more state championships from Alton High School sprinter Raina Ragland, who won 2 state championships, right?
That's right.
The 100 and the 200?
Correct.
Did I get that right? And she's bringing with her coach, Chelsea Anderson. So tonight's show is all about speed, especially segments 2 and 3. And just before segment number 2, make sure you stick around to hear the Little Caesars Pizza trivia question of the week. It will be your opportunity to win a free pizza. And before we get started with all this great stuff, I want to thank partners Cassens Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Keller Williams Marquee, the Blasting Game Group, Integrity Spine and Joint Center, Front Office, Fiduciary Network, Oakbrook Golf Club, and Play It Again Sports Edwardsville. And if you're interested in being a partner, reach out to us. Send us a message over Facebook or X. We've got a nice request today that we are checking out. So that's a possibility. So, and also 3 things before we get started. Number 1, subscribe to this podcast. It's free and you'll love it. Number 2, follow us in all of our social media platforms, X, Facebook, the Gram, and YouTube. And number 3, if you have a story idea, email me please at mespdave@gmail.com. And don't forget, you can nominate your favorite team for Integrity Spine and Joint Center. Metro East Team of the Month could be a park and rec team, middle school team, a high school team. You get to name it. To nominate a team for Team of the Month, send your suggestion to mespdave@gmail.com. Please put Team of the Month in the subject line. Whoa. That's more like it.
There you go.
All right. High school report time. Should we start off with baseball?
You want to start off with baseball, Coach?
Sure. Let's start off with baseball. What do you have going on? What's coming up next?
Well, we got postseason going. It's going very strongly here on the Metro East area. We'll go through the list of games that are going down all on Wednesday. So all these games are all over the Southern Illinois baseball diamonds. We've got Bree Central versus Effingham St. Anthony's at Greenville. We've got Waterloo versus Triad at Triad, a conference battle there, going for the next round. We have Nokomis versus Jabot, Waterloo. They're playing at Greenville this week. Effingham versus Freeburg. Again, that matchup's in Greenville. We have Jacksonville versus Mascoutah following the Waterloo Triad game at Triad. That should be a pretty good matchup. Then we've got Jacksonville versus Mascoutah. I just went over that. Apologize.
All right.
We've got big game here, Southwestern Conference battle, Edwardsville versus O'Fallon at SIUE. That should be very interesting. Edwardsville's been playing really well. They haven't been scoring a lot of runs, so they're going to have their hands full, I think, against O'Fallon.
Okay, so when you look at some of the results, what's popping out to me is Troy in 3A hosting their own sectional, very dominant, 5-0 first round against Taylorville, 9-0 versus Jersey, and then today will be a big one. Wednesday will be a big one, like you mentioned, against Waterloo, which has had an outstanding year as well. But it's Triad's game.
Yep.
Triad's got to be the heavy favorite here.
They
and
are.
then you talked about the scoring in 4A in Edwardsville. I was intrigued by the fact that Edwardsville didn't just win, wasn't the only 1-0 winner in their series. When I looked at that, they had a tight one in their very first game against Granite City.
I covered that game.
1-0. What were your impressions there in that game against Granite City?
Well, both teams, the pitcher, I don't remember his name for Granite City, threw a heck of a game. I think he had up of 100 pitches, and he was wearing Edwardsville's their lineup up till he ran out of gas, and they had to put in the reliever, and that's when Edwardsville made some contact. But both Edwardsville and Granite City, both kids played a heck of a pitching matchup.
Okay, so in the first round of 4A, it was West over East, 8-3. West, the number 2 seed in the regional, and they have come up with a lot of big wins this year. And O'Fallon over Alton, 1-0. And then, like I said, Edwardsville over Granite City, 1-0. Some really close games. And before that, Edwardsville had a play-in game, a 6-2 victory over Decatur MacArthur.
Coach Alton's got 2 aces on their mound. And I'm pretty sure they threw their number 1 ace at that game with that 1-0 loss.
Well, that was a tough game, and they're going to be a team to watch out for. Diego talked about them early in the year, how they might have had one of the best players in the area on their team. I think the kid was a sophomore. I thought he was a freshman, but I think
he's a sophomore. Yep.
So O'Fallon against Edwardsville is certainly one of the games to watch out for. And then you mentioned the 2A game, which was kind of an upset, Breeze Central getting past McGivney.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
We've got just 2 more. We've got Sparta versus Goreville at Goreville. Goreville's the picking choice right there.
Okay.
They're seated higher, and then you've got New Athens versus Pawnee at Greenville. So that should round up the baseball.
Okay. All right. Let's head on over to track and field with Mike Baxter. What do you want to talk about in terms of boys track? Because we hit the girls pretty heavy last week. But what do you want to say about the boys' state track meet this last week, Mike?
Wow, just like the girls, this was a lot of fun to watch. We saw, kids doing things that we expected them to do, and then we saw a lot of kids stepping up and doing things that were just wow. This is a school that's out of our range, but I was watching the discus throw for 3A. Shane Box, Collinsville, was right there. And a Dunlap, sophomore, stepped up in his final throw and threw 201 and propelled him on to victory. So we just saw a lot of really cool things happening.
And I noticed you've got rankings updated for the boys. Large school,
Yep.
Number 5, Collinsville and Mascoutah. You've got those two teams tied at 5.
I do. Yep. They were both. I liked them all year long, and last rankings. I wanted them there.
Number 4, Edwardsville. Number 3, Belleville East, tied 6th in state in 3A. Number 2, Chatham Glenwood, and number 1, do the math, Coach Alonzo, Belleville West, number 1.
Yeah, and that was a fun race to watch come down to the very end because all the events were done except for 3A high jump. That was the battle that we were watching, and we knew that it was going to have implications on the final. Who was on the podium. That was a lot of fun to watch. But Belleville West is a really good team, and they battled Evanston very hard.
Congratulations to the Maroons. We have to get Coach Nelson on here and talk to them very soon. Okay, Let's talk small schools. Number 5, Father McGivney and Nashville are tied. McGivney had a lot of success in one of their relays.
Two of their relays. Yeah.
2 of their relays.
4x8 and 4x4 did well with that. Nashville has a great thrower, and again, all year wanted to include both of them there.
Number 4, Triad. Number 3, CM, finished 16th in 2A, of course, led by their great long-distance runner, Max Weber.
Mm-hmm. You look good.
Number 2, East St. Louis, finished 11th in state in 2A. And number 1, Cahokia, where they've been all year long, they finished 2nd in 2A.
Yeah, they finished 2nd to Metamora, and Metamora, man, they were all around, just like the Edwardsville girls. They were scoring points, and I think if I read this right, Metamora was the first track and field team in their conference to win, or to maybe even hit podium at track. So it was a big deal for Metamora, but Cahokia is right there too.
Okay. Good stuff. All right, you want to talk about what to watch or your reviews, your notes? Where do you want to go?
Hey, we've got 3 summer things that are coming up. One is coming up this Thursday, June 4th, at SLU High. It's called Festival of Miles. We're going to see some of the top runners from Illinois, Missouri, around the country. That's a fun event. Number 2, the Magis Miles, which is a couple days later, June 6th, at St. Ignatius College. That it's going to draw a lot of Illinois kids and probably northern Illinois in that region. And then finally, the third one, July 24th, Detweiler at Dark. That is a fun event. That's middle school, high school. It's Detweiler, where they run the cross-country championship, is lit up. Yep, it's lit up. There's music playing. It is a fun event. I've never been there, but I've seen pictures and video, and I plan to be up there someday.
Do they bring in lights just for this event?
Yes.
No kidding. Okay. The Festival of Miles, that's at night too, isn't it?
It is, yes.
I remember seeing pictures of that online. Cool. Will you go to that?
I plan to be there for Festival of Miles, yes.
Okay. All right, cool. And then some reviews over there to the right. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we were looking at the 110 hurdles for 3A being the race to watch, and it was. It was Belleville West Cole over Belleville East Donaldson, 13.53 to 13.65. These two runners were going back and forth all season long. This was a battle. And the senior, Cole, just edged out the junior Donaldson in that race. That was a lot of fun.
We had him on the show last year also.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Parker Owens, the 3A pole vault champion. He's now a new Illinois number 5 and number 48 in the country.
Okay, wait. How is he Illinois number 5 if he wins state? That means there's kids who jumped higher in other classes?
Yep. And the one to watch is Isaiah Whitaker, Bloomington Central Catholic. He's 2A, and he's incredible to watch. He won again in the 2A. There are smaller classes that have
Good
very,
at pole
very
vault.
talented pole vaulters. Yeah.
Huh. All right, good stuff.
Yep.
Not the first EHS pole vaulter to win state. Darren McDonough
Okay.
was first, and he was number 1 in the country at one point, and then he goes to University of Illinois. EHS Athletic Hall of Famer, Darren McDonough. Anyway, all right, keep going.
Then I want to jump down to my number 5 on my list is we talk about Chaz Oberkfell.
Yes.
Wow, what can you say? He is the cross-country champion in 1A. Then he comes to boys track state and wins the 1600 in 4:14.66, wins the 32 in 9:08. And then I started thinking about how his numbers would compare. So I went back about 23 years to Stephen Pfeiffer and compared some numbers. And it's Chaz Oberkfell's in good company. Stephen Pfeiffer's an amazing runner. And Chaz ran in cross country, ran 14:32. Stephen Pfeiffer won his cross country in 14:33.
Wow.
Stephen Pfeiffer won 1600 in 4:14, and Chaz ran and won his in 4:14.66, and they were very similar in the 32 as well. So just outstanding runners, and Stephen Pfeiffer is a runner that we all know here in Edwardsville.
Okay, so I'm looking at this, though, and Max Weber in the 3200 ran a 9:05.86, so a full 3 seconds faster than Oberkfell,
Yeah,
which is very impressive to me.
very, very impressive, yeah.
So Weber's times were faster than Stephen Pfeiffer's times?
For that, for the 32, yes.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Max-
shows you how fast these kids are.
That's one thing we were noticing. A number of us were talking at the finish last couple of weekends. We were talking about that speed. There were a number of records that were broken. People just doing things that 15 years ago it was unheard of. That these kids are running so well right now.
It's because the training is better?
I would say, yeah. I'm not a coach, but I would say yes.
Okay. Good stuff. All right. Anything else that you want to talk about? State track and field. Looks like you've got some Gavin Stuckenberg.
That was a lot of fun to watch because I remember watching his older brother with pole vault, and so it was good to see Gavin, tossing in the shot and the disc. That was a lot of fun. And
he set the EHS record, beating AJ Epinessa's record, which I was very surprised to hear that. But
that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. He is a kid who is a thrower first. Mm-hmm. That is his main thing. Usually kids in high school who throw are football players who throw as like a kind of a secondary thing. But with Gavin, it really became the focus of his athletic career.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Good coaches.
All right, Mike. Well, it has been amazing having you on as our track and field expert this spring. It's really given us a lot of knowledge that we wouldn't know. So thank you so much for being a track and field insider for us. And just to let you know, we've already scheduled our preview for cross country, and we hope we can have you on again in the fall to keep talking running with cross country. I know that's another sport that's very close to your heart. So appreciate you being here on behalf of
Mile Split
Heartland. I was going to give you a chance to talk about it. Mile Split Heartland. Okay.
Thanks,
all
Coach.
right, cool, Mike. Thanks so much. All right, let's hear from Jack Grimm. All right, what's going on in volleyball, my man?
Yeah, so we're getting ready to start the sectional finals, sectional semis. We're this weekend. There were a couple of great matchups in general last week, most particularly the third matchup of the year between Belleville East and Althoff, where despite being better on talent and maybe having the better overall head-to-heads, Althoff was never able to get it done against Belleville East. Belleville East beat them again in 3 sets. And again, Althoff just kind of didn't have the gas to get across the finish line. They have all this firepower. Althoff's servers really let them down. I was at that game, and they provided a ton of service pressure, especially early in the first set, but then there was just no pressure applied in the third set. I think at one point they maybe missed 4 or 5 in a row first serve opportunities, and that just kills all your momentum, and it made it super easy for East to just go in there and kill the ball with their big middles. And then East had the opportunity to play O'Fallon for the third time this year, and O'Fallon did as they do, top 3 team in the state right now.
What were the scores?
In the East O'Fallon game, 25-18, 25-19, I believe.
So that's not annihilation.
That is a comfortable wire-to-wire win that you'd want to go into.
It's a comfortable wire-to-wire win, but it's not 21-10.
Correct. Yeah,
it's not 21-11.
In a matchup where you're playing talent with another team that has talent, a 6-point win is a big margin.
Okay.
And that comes to the fact that O'Fallon is one of the best serving teams in the game. They apply a ton of pressure from the service line. I mean, you have huge athletic servers who are getting way over the service line with their jumps. So they're, that shorter distance, able to create that implied speed. So instead of a true like 55 mile an hour serve, because it's coming at you from 5-10 feet closer, feels more like 60-65. So they get up, they have some huge athletic animals over there at O'Fallon right now.
How they look next year?
So Sutton Massey will still be around, but they're going to lose Abe Knipkamp. They're losing Nathan McBride. They're losing Elijah Zambrensha, which is for like Blake Keller's gone too. Although they don't, obviously the setter is doing a great job, but their big claim to fame is their 4 humongous hitters that just put every ball down. Sutton Massey is still going to be a huge focal piece, and they'll be able to be successful around him. But not also having the big middle and a big opposite who's left-handed is gonna be quite.
They'll still be the team to beat.
They will still be the team to beat.
Okay. And so sectionals, what day again for them?
Sectionals are tomorrow. They play up in Darien at Hinsdale South. They're playing in O'Fallon against Lincoln Way East. They're supposed to be. So there's like a split sectional because
for
we're
travel
so much
purposes.
For traveling
I thought you
purposes.
said Glenbard West.
So Glenbard West is next round if they beat Lincoln Way East.
Okay, but that'll be a chore.
So Glenbard West is number 2 in the state on max preps. O'Fallon is number 3. They are the only in the top 4 that are have to play each other before they get to the top 4 state. The other ones are all evenly split. They won't see each other until the semis or the finals. But for whatever reason, these two ended up right
Who's
next
number
to each
one?
other. Oak Park River Forest, and they are a top 10 team in the country. They're very good. They are going to be extremely tough for O'Fallon to beat. They went and beat all of Indiana's really talented teams, Roncalli, Fishers. They took care of business there. They went out to the West Coast and were able to play well against teams like Huntington Beach and Loyola. Like they've been very solid all year.
You sounded at one point this year fairly optimistic about O'Fallon's chances to bring it home. I think you're less optimistic.
I am less optimistic. I had not seen Oak Park River Forest play yet, but I had the opportunity to see them play a couple weeks ago now, and they match size-wise, if not being a little bigger. They're more athletic, and they have a much better setter.
Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb and pick O'Fallon to win it all.
I want it so bad. I would love to see a team from Southern Illinois, and I feel like we got duped by our sectional having 2 top 4 teams in it before the Final Four. So that's annoying. We always get duped.
It always happens, doesn't it?
It always happens.
I like the way you use the word duped. I don't think that's the right word. I think
Probably not.
I think you're thinking of a different word there, but that's okay. All right, KP, should we switch it on over to soccer here in just a second, or do you want to go softball first?
Either or, whatever you want.
All right, let's talk about soccer here in a second. But first, if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Metro East on the Illinois or the Missouri side, please give our partners at Keller Williams Marquis Jeb and Ginger Blasingame the chance to serve you. They have offices in O'Fallon and Edwardsville with more than 165 agents. The Blasingames are a family-owned business that has helped over 11,000 families find just the right home. We're one of those families because Jeb and Ginger sold our house so fast because they're experts at staging and pricing, and they helped us find the perfect home, and they can do the same for you. No wonder they've been ranked in the top 10 real estate teams in North America. Give Jeb and Ginger Blasingame a call at 618-578-9276 or check them out online at blasinggamegroup.com. You will not be disappointed. And this heat's got me thinking about summer, and that makes me think about golf. Located northeast of Edwardsville, Oak Brook Golf Club is a family-owned 27-hole public golf facility, and their goal is to offer the highest quality golf experience for a reasonable fee. What's your favorite hole at Oak Brook, Jack?
I like number 1 on the east. I also
where you have to go over the creek.
Oh yeah, because when I was in high school,
I've done that once.
I loved flexing that I could. So it was a big ego trip for.
I've done
for
it
high
once.
school me,
I'll tell you the whole story sometime. I love that. That's a good one. I like that. I like that par 3 number 2.
Number 2 on the west.
Yes.
Yeah, great hole.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, Oak Brook is consistently recognized for awards such as Friendliest Staff, Best Course to Host a Fundraiser, and Best Senior Scramble in the bi-state area. From fundraisers to leagues to instruction to an afternoon out on the links by yourself or with your friends, the Brook wants to win your business. I've personally played and hosted multiple golf scrambles there, and I've gotten over the creek on number 1 on the east side one time, and I promise you, Mike Surrey and his staff are the best. To book your next tee time or to start organizing your next fundraising scramble, give them a call at 656-5600 or check them out online at oakbrookgc.com. Okay. KP?
We'll jump in a little soccer. First, I'd like to give a shout-out to Columbia's athletic department for great hospitality and welcoming me onto their...
Scott Horner, right?
Scott Horner, yep, and their whole staff was very...
accommodating.
And
he's retiring, by the way.
Yes.
And remember, we had his daughter on the show earlier, state champion volleyball player, right?
Ella Horner.
Yep,
absolutely. Well, we'll jump in. They held the regional for down this way. The first game was Father McGivney. They played Freeburg, and it was not much of a game. Father McGivney took them down 6-0.
Wow. They're a juggernaut. We've said it all year.
Yep. The next game, which was the best game of the tournament, was Columbia versus Murfreesboro. This game was a dogfight, or this match, if you want, soccer match. It ended up Columbia winning 3-1 in OT. They went into overtime. It was 0-0 into the overtime. And then it was a lot of quick goals. It was bang, 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 and it ended up 3-1. And I be honest, I think Columbia ran out. I think they used all their energy and gas, and they had to match up in the championship matchup against Father McGivney. And I'm telling you, Father McGivney was a juggernaut. They just ran through Columbia like they weren't even there. It was very not much of a game.
Impressive. Okay, so what's next?
We got the soccer matches for this week. We've got Litchfield versus Father McGivney at Civic Memorial. We've got Lincoln Way West versus Edwardsville at Bloomington. And we have Morton versus Waterloo at Chatham Glenwood.
Okay. And Edwardsville had an impressive
I'm sorry. You have to give that. Sorry, give Eville a shout out. They played O'Fallon. It went down to I believe the final 25 seconds of the match, and Edwardsville scored the winning goal.
And Edwardsville has a couple losses in the very last seconds of the game, so it was good to see the Tigers get a win in the last second. So congratulations to Coach Bernay, first-year coach at Edwardsville. They're on a good postseason run. And then in the second round, after beating O'Fallon, then they go on to beat Peoria Notre Dame.
Right.
What was the score in that one?
I don't remember, Coach.
Okay, I think that was 1-0 also.
Yep, it might have been.
Okay.
All right.
And then what's next for them? Super sectional?
They're Edwardsville's playing Lincoln Way West.
Okay.
And that's at Bloomington.
And that's tonight.
Today.
So two teams playing in Bloomington today for Edwardsville in super sectional or sectional finals. The softball team also. Are we going to talk about softball tonight or wait till next week?
No, we'll jump into this week's games. We've got some local teams going. We got Oakville versus Concord Triopia at Athens. That is, I believe, I didn't check that. I'm not sure if that was Wednesday or not.
Okay.
They're all at the same time. Then we've got Lincoln Way West versus Edwardsville at Illinois Wesleyan campus. And then we've got Carterville versus the Bud at SIU Carbondale. So we got to give a shout-out to the Buds since we had them early on in our podcast.
This is the farthest they've been in the history of their program.
Yep.
Really?
Yes.
And I think
Coach
highly
Brian
of their
Boving.
softball. I think highly of their softball program. That's kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, no, this is history. This is uncharted waters for them. We had Coach Brian Boving on at the start of the year, and we talked about it.
We kind of razzed a little bit. We said, "Coach, you think you can go all the way?" Well, he's on a good charge right now.
Yeah, they're having fun follow on social media too.
And then Oakville beat Carrollton for the first time, I think, maybe in their program history.
Could be
in sectionals.
Yeah, could be.
We just got tennis. We got to finish tennis.
Okay, let's talk tennis, boys. Tennis is over for the year. State tournament was last weekend, 1A and 2A, an exhausting experience for most of us. How did it go?
Well, we're going with our top 10. Belleville East brings in number 10. They were not fortunate to make it to the state tournament, but the final 9 made it all to the state tournament.
Okay.
We've got number 9, Highland. Number 8, O'Fallon. I'm sorry, O'Fallon did not make it.
O'Fallon did. O'Fallon had 2 singles players.
Oh, they had 2 single players. Okay, then I was right. We've got number 7, Carbondale. Number 6, Mascoutah. We've got number 5, Triad. We've got number 4 coming in, Chatham Glenwood. Number 3, Metamora. We just heard they had a pretty good track year, so Metamora's picking up their athletic programs. Number 2, Dunlop. And number 1, the Edwardsville Tigers. And congratulations, Coach Leip, on good season.
Thanks. A lot of good finishes at state. Triad had a boy. Tate Moore finished higher than he tied the record for Triad for singles. I think he finished 13th, if I'm not mistaken, something like that.
I think it was 13th.
Mascoutah had a doubles team, finished, I think, 6th. So those were both 1A finishes. Congratulations to those kids. From our perspective, it was a grind. I think we were finished about just outside of the top 10. Brandon Wong had a fantastic tournament. He had a win against New Trier in the first round, which, like I texted their coach, he said, "Hey, good win." And I said, "Nobody beats us 78 times in a row." And
Coach, well, if you look at the big schools, all those Chicago schools just got tremendous tennis.
Yeah, we were the highest finishing team from
Right.
south of I-80, but we were fortunate in our sectional to get everybody through, to finish first and second in singles and first and third in doubles.
Almost had a sweep.
Yes. Fortunate to get past Quincy for the third time this year. They had 2 great doubles teams. So shout out to my team. I don't talk about the Tigers very much, but they were the best team south of I-80 this year, and I still haven't really put it all in perspective yet, but it was a fun season, and we're losing a lot of seniors, and the banquet's next week, and talk to me next week when I've had a chance to really think about it, because it's still just all moving too fast anyway.
And how many state tournament appearances is this, or state final?
34? 34?
That's
we've
awesome.
qualified for state every year for the boys.
How about
At
Southwestern Conference Championships?
25.
Wow.
25, I think, and I think maybe 24 out of the last 25 sectionals.
It's like UCLA women's tennis has made the tournament every year since its inception.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
I don't know how many they've won. I don't know that they've even won, but they've made the
I
tournament
bet
every year.
they have. I can think of two really great tennis players that played on the men's team there, Jimmy Connors and Arthur Ashe, and that's just and Dennis Ralston and on and on and on. That was the let me think, Stan Smith. I think Stan Smith and Bob Lutz went to USC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think Lutz went to USC.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Jimmy Connors went to UCLA. I knew Arthur Ashe.
did.
Yeah, UCLA. Yeah, he went to
did.
UCLA.
He did.
Well, Coach, I know you don't like to talk about the Tigers, but congratulations again for an outstanding season.
I appreciate it. It's the Metro East Sports Podcast. It's not the Edwardsville Tigers podcast. So, if anything, it's kind of like raising my own children. I kind of recognize everybody else's kids first, but this was a special team, and a lot of other local teams had very special years also. So we'll get some of those other kids on the podcast and recognize them as well. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for the high school report tonight. Mike, KP, Jack, thanks so much, guys. Jack, thanks so much for all you've done. Are you going to come back one more time and wrap it up?
I'm going to come back, in a couple weeks to wrap up the postseason, and then a couple weeks after that, we'll be ready to kick off the girls.
Yeah,
because I'll know a lot about the.
You got to do
what's
the
gonna
girls
happen in the summer.
preview.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.